Hello, welcome back to SCI Teach. This is a physics practical for Waec 2025. So we're going to use the information provided in the specimens and try and make up question that you will likely be seeing in your Waec examination practical. So this year the specimen given to us in question 1 is almost like Waec are saying, well, you used to crack questions, crack this one, let's see. It's really confusing, but we're going to try to put them together to see the possible questions which we or you will be looking at in your exam day or on your exam day. So we're going to put up kind of scenarios, okay? So we will start with one which has some but not all the apparatus provided in the specimen, and then we try to put all of them together and see what we can find. All right, remember to subscribe to this channel, share and like the videos, share it to your friends and classmates, everybody who is writing exams, so that they will also prepare and ace their exams. All right, thank you. So the question I have with me is, you are provided with the following apparatus: 3 retort stands with clamps, a G clamp, a spiral spring, a mass labeled M, 2 pieces of threads with loops, a stopwatch, an optical pin, and sellotape. Now my question is, set up the apparatus so that the spiral spring is vertically suspended from a rigid support. Rigid support could be the table edge secured with G clamp and the retort stand on it, and the mass M is attached to the lower end of the spring. All right, so that's the instruction, and then you go ahead and attach the optical pin to the mass M using sellotape to act as a pointer. Position one of the rulers vertically beside the spring to measure the displacement, and use the second ruler horizontally to align your eye with the pointer for accurate reading. Parallax prevention. Then pull the mass M slightly downward. Now at this point, Waec may give you a dimension, a distance, how much displacement you should take. You're going to see that when I put up the practical. So you pull the mass M slightly downward. They will give you like maybe 5 cm from the rest position, and release it to oscillate vertically. And using the stopwatch, determine the time T for 10 complete oscillations. Waec may say 15, they may say 20, and then repeat the reading and record your results. Then you can go ahead to calculate the period T of one oscillation and tabulate your results. So we want to see how we can put this up and see what to do with it. So from what I've mentioned, the retort stands and clamps are to suspend the spring and the mass. The G clamp is to fix the stand firm to the table. Okay, so you see how we'll do that. And the spiral spring is the medium for simple harmonic motion. The 100 cm rulers, one of them is to measure the displacement and the other one for eye alignment. Then the mass is to provide the force on the spring, and then the threads is to suspend the rulers, one of the ruler if needed, or even to attach the spring to the mass, could also be that. and then the stopwatch to measure time of oscillations, the optical pin to act as pointer for accurate reading, and the sellotape to attach the pin to the mass. Okay, so I've exhausted all the items in the specimen. All right, let's see what this can bring forth. So my procedure is to fix one retort stand securely to the edge of a table using the G clamp, so that when you are trying to oscillate, it won't fall off or something like that. Then suspend the spiral spring from the clamp and attach the mass M to the lower end of the spring using thread with loops. If necessary, or just attach it directly. And then tape the optical spin horizontally to the mass so it points at a vertical ruler placed beside the spring. You will see that. And then use sellotape to secure it firmly. Also place another ruler horizontally in front of your eyes to avoid parallax error when reading the pin's motion. These are your procedures I'm reading. What you're going to see me carry out, that's what I'm reading to you now. And then gently pull down the mass a few centimeters, which will be given to you, and release it to begin vertical oscillations, right? And then using the stopwatch, measure the time T for 10 complete oscillations. In my case, Waec maybe 20, maybe 15, maybe whatever it is, and repeat the timing at least 3 times. That will give you the different centimeter displacements for this other 3 times or 4 times, as the Waec case may be, and they calculate the period. That's what we're going to be seeing now. So I'm going to just carry out the apparatus, the procedures without the calculations for now. All right, so that we see what we are to expect. All right. So here is my specimen. I mean the apparatus I'm going to use, the items. My mass 100 grams is what I'm using. This is the pin, the optical pin. All right, so optical pin is what you use for glass prism experiment. This is my G clamp, which I will use to hold firmly this stand, retort stand to the table, so that while I'm oscillating, it won't fall off. Okay, this is my retort stand where I'm going to hang my spiral spring with the mass. So I have 2 rulers. Okay, it will be 100 cm rulers, 2 of them, but I'm using 1 meter ruler, 1 meter ruler, and 100 cm ruler. In your own case, it will be 2 of the same 100 cm rulers. And this is a spiral spring I'm going to use. See, very flexible, which is going to be able to carry the weight and still do the oscillations without breaking. Okay, so those are the okay, not everything is sellotape. Okay, sellotape is here, which I'm going to use to hold firm the mass, or the pin to the mass, the optical pin to the mass. Okay, so that mass, I'll tape it like this way, and that's where I'll write M on it, and with the pin attached to it to serve as pointer. Okay, you see as it attached to the spiral spring, and spiral spring is hung on the retort stand. Okay, this is how it will be throughout the experiment, and then we'll be oscillating to find different values. So I'm going to go ahead and start my procedure. So I'm going to attach the clamp to the G clamp. I'm going to use the G clamp to hold the retort stand firmly to the table. Okay, that's my procedure number 1. So I need to fasten it and keep it in place, so that while I'm doing my oscillations, I won't have this retort stand oscillating with me. It won't be shaking as I'm oscillating the spring with the mass. Okay, as the oscillation is going on, the retort stand firm to avoid parallax error. Okay, so you see, retort stand can't move. Okay, even when the spring will be vibrating the retort stand handle, it won't disturb the firmness. Okay, you see, as I'm oscillating, it doesn't shift the retort stand because the clamp is holding it in place. Okay, so that's procedure one. This is my stopwatch I'm going to use in timing. Okay, in timing how many seconds or how long it takes for 10 complete oscillations, or 20 as the case may be. All right, so ready. The setup is ready. Is anything remaining? Okay, the spiral spring is here, the mass is here, the pin is there, the clamp is there, the G clamp is here, sellotape has been used. Okay, what else? My ruler is here. Okay, and the other ruler for to support my eye, so I will know directly what I mean. Okay, so I'll start the process. So let's say we have a vertical ruler which will measure the height, or the height of the spring. Okay, or maybe in your own case you may be measuring from top. Okay, from the top of the spring to where the pointer points. All right, but this ruler may just be to support your eye so that you will not make mistakes, to avoid parallax errors. That's what this ruler may be for. But this vertical ruler is where the pointer should point for you to know the displacement. All right, so as you can see now, I use this my other ruler, which would be another 100 cm ruler, to support, so that I won't be touching with my hand, which may end up pulling or pushing. Okay, this is just a scenario. Okay, Waec can become very creative and make it look another way. Okay, so now I see I measured 14 or 40.5, so they may ask me to displace it 3 cm. So it's in 40.5 and I displace it to 37 and allow it to oscillate, and with that I then use my stopwatch and time it. Okay, how long it takes to oscillate 10 times or 20 times as the case may be, and then stop the stopwatch, the timer, and record that. Okay, it was from it was on 42. Okay, whatever, 42 points, whatever. I may be asked to move it again another 3 cm, depending on what the case may be. But you're not doing it from where you did it for the first time. You move it further lower and oscillate, and time this one also with your stopwatch to see how long it took this extended oscillation to oscillate 10 or 20 times as the case may be. You record that also. Of course, there will be a difference. You record that. So they may ask you to keep increasing with the spring and oscillate. Okay, so maybe you're adding 2 cm, or you're adding 5 cm, or 3 cm as the case may be. But in each of the cases you have to oscillate them, time it with your stopwatch, and be able to record. So this ruler may also be to help you check if the extension of the spring has been added. If the spring has now added a new extension, I mean a new has extended further. So you record before you start and then record after you end the practical. Could also be to align the top so that you will know the mark at the top. All right, so that's one way I think these specimens will be used to form equation. So you see what I did: suspended the spring from the clamp, and then I placed a horizontal ruler in front of my eyes, and then I oscillated. I gently pulled the mass a few centimeters depending on what I'm given, released it to begin vertical oscillations, and then I used my stopwatch to measure the time t for whether 10 or 15 or 20 oscillations. Okay, your case they may say 20 first time, then 10 the second time. Whatever they will do, it's not difficult once you're able to set up the apparatus the way you are asked to do. So the lucky part is that whatever you're asked to do would be drawn there. Okay, the diagram will be there so that it will be a guide for you to set up completely. If not, maybe someone will help you set up so that but it's part of the question for you to be able to set up following the instructions. So it won't be difficult once you are able to follow the instructions and set up according to the diagram that will be provided for you on your question paper. All right, so once you do that, you see everything becomes easy. You just need to oscillate, avoid parallax error reading, read the values accurately, and your answers are going to be so easy. All right, so you just need to repeat the thing according to how many times you are asked to repeat, and do it accurately. But as you can see, we used only one retort stand there, but my question said I was provided with 3 retort stands. So that means Waec can get so creative this time. We want to try and put up something that can explain how we can use 3 retort stands to carry out such practical. Okay, so this is how I set up this. This is just to say, instead of me to hold the other second ruler that supports my eye to be able to read horizontal dimensions accurately, I then put it in the other 2 clamps to hold it. My hand could be shaking if I'm holding it with my hand, so I want a firm and accurate reading, so I put it in the 2 other clamps, and I'm able to read whatever I want to read. So this second ruler can still do whatever it wants to do, and the other one just remains there helping me measure. Okay, so like in this case now, my hand won't be shaking because the ruler is just there. The horizontal ruler, the second 100 cm ruler, is just there to do the horizontal measurements for me. Okay, so the vertical ruler will just be there for the pin to point at the direction. So you may be asked to adjust this a certain distance. You may be told how long this loop, this ropes or strings with loop should be, how long it should be for your own practical. Whatever you are told, that's what you are to do. Okay, maybe you are asked to do that so that it comes closer to the mass or further away, or whatever you'll be asked to do. But if you're asked to do that, you just follow that, and you see everything here is used. Okay, you're asked to move it closer to where the mass stopped. Okay, possibly whatever they want to do, they can get creative to do that. But after this time, I think we'll understand what they planned to do, and we'll be able to expand our knowledge to cover creative areas like this. All right, so the length of the loop, the string, will determine what to do with this once you are applying this other 2 retort stands. Okay, so this retort stands will just help hold the horizontal ruler in place, and you just be adjusting as the case may be to fit in whatever oscillation you are trying to do. Okay, maybe so that you won't pass the level, you're asked to put a ruler there, the horizontal ruler. Okay, we're just giving you scenarios as to how this can be used to complete only one question. All right, so whatever it is, you see my apparatus is complete. I used the 3 retort stands, I used the mass, the optical pin, 2 rulers, I used a spiral spring, I used sellotape, I used stopwatch, and if you look at it, everything is covered for what was provided. Okay, whatever will be done will be out of instruction, but also know it could also be to distract. I mean, the apparatus, maybe some can do without the others. Okay, so it could also be additional information that is given to distract you. Okay, so the most important thing is follow the instruction on your question paper. Don't take everything anybody says 100% until you read it in the question paper, but you can use this to guide yourself and know the different ways it could be set up for you to have ease in solving or carrying out your practical without errors. Okay, so you'll be asked to oscillate it on it and measure with the horizontal ruler, the vertical ruler, and the horizontal ruler does its own work. All right, so the other way you may be asked to use this may be this other one. Okay, let's look at this, where the mass will be attached to the center of gravity of a ruler, and then you are asked to oscillate the ruler. Okay, make the ruler tilt it to one side and allow it to oscillate like this, and use your stopwatch to time how long it takes to complete 10 or 20 oscillations. But you see that this third retort stand is not really used here, except that will become very creative and attach the spring and the mass to the center of the ruler to hold it with the spring. Try and get what I'm saying. Maybe this spring at the middle is the load is attached to the center of the ruler. Okay, and then this oscillation takes place and the spring is holding the center in place. Okay, that can happen also. That's another creative way they can get. But whatever way it is, these are the possible ways you will see question 1. All right, it's just very tricky this year to give you exactly one way it would be used. Last year we just did exactly what it was. This year it became very tricky, but we're going to crack it. So if you use everything I just said now, carry this knowledge, use this knowledge, then you're possibly going to see a very good performance in your examinations. Okay, so that's the 3 different ways I think Waec could set question 1 moments or simple harmonic motion. All right, take notes to be able to set up accurately according to what your question paper says. All right, not what I am saying now. Could get on that to that day and then everything changes. Could be the first one I used, could be the second one, it could be this one. Whatever it is, don't just cram what I'm telling you now and say it has to be like this. I know this teacher used to teach well, it has to be like this. No, please. Your question paper is what the instruction is written for you to be able to pass this examination. So follow the instruction on the question paper and answer the questions accurately. All right, now we also know that in practicals like this you'll be asked to calculate, so you have to follow the instructions and the formula given to you if there is a formula, or maybe period t. Okay, or maybe asked to find the spring constant, it's constant of the spring. Okay, remember it has maybe 4 pi square m all over t square to be the formula, or whatever they give you as formula. Use it and solve well, and also remember to record your values to 2 decimal places, at least 3 or 2 but 3 is standard for physics. But if 2 is not that bad, but if you are told in the question clear instructions to use 2, then use 2. If you are told 3, use 3, please. Okay, and then remember your precautions are very important. You'll be asked. Take for instance the one I did. The precautions could be: I ensured the spring oscillated vertically without swinging sideways. That's precaution. Precaution is what did you make sure you did to avoid wrong readings, to make sure that the thing went accurately. Okay, I've said number 1, I ensured that the spring oscillated vertically without swinging sideways. And then number 2, I could say I avoided parallax error by reading the pointer at eye level. Remember that pin was my pointer. Okay, number 3 can be that I started the stopwatch exactly when the mass passed the equilibrium position. Could also be a precaution. Another one could be that I repeated the timing to reduce random error and took the average. All right, then could be that I ensured the pointer was firmly attached and didn't shift during motion. Okay, whatever it is, just make sure that you are able to state exactly what the question wants you to use, the units it asks you to use, form the table and put out the values accurately, to the correct decimal place asked in the question, and then write your precautions and be able to plot the graph if there is any graph. Okay, graph could likely be question 2 more, but if there is a graph, plot your graph accurately with good scales. You may be asked to use a particular scale, fine. If not, please use appropriate scales. All right, and you'll be able to scale this exam. So I've provided all the necessary provisions that question 1 may demand. It's left for you to understand the methods, understand what I mean, and be able to carry out the practical on that day according to the instructions given to you. All right, remember to subscribe to this channel, like and share the videos to your friends and classmates who are writing exams, so that as we are excelling, they are excelling also. Thank you for watching. God bless you.